Hello, welcome into this edition of the Danny Sancomb Show. My name is Matt Kiefer. I'm the Director of Athletic Communication here with the Vulcans. Coach, been a split week last week, but a soft week this week with the game off on Wednesday. Nice bye week still left over from the Merciers shakeout of the conference there. So a little bit different here for the guys. We're shooting here on Wednesday, so normally it's a game day for you, but I'm sure the guys, especially after last week, people who've looked at the box score and looked at the benches, a little thin last week. A lot of the flu bug and sickness that tends to go around. You're in that season, that sport that everybody's around each other for 6 weeks. There's really nothing else going on. So they're around each other a lot, and when it spreads, it spreads.
And it did. The last really 3 weeks have been tough with games, just certain guys missing. And we've had our last 3 games, guys miss. So this week not playing on Wednesday, usually when you get in your rhythm, you like playing. It came at a good time for us to hopefully get healthy and get everybody back out there for Slippery Rock on Saturday.
So when we recorded this last week, we had a nice big winning streak there. Go up to Clarion as a team. We talked about they had a lot of balanced scoring, and they could shoot the ball from the outside, and sure enough, they did. They had 4 guys in double digits and hitting 12 threes. I know it's a number you're not very happy with still a week later, but it's just the idea, like, they just played a really good game and gave you guys everything you could handle, and they ended up getting the victory at home at Tilpin Gymnasium.
Yeah, they did a lot of good things, obviously they did, but we did some things that were uncharacteristic for us. We didn't take care of the ball particularly well that night, and we just didn't communicate well. We gave them some easy backdoor cuts, and they played well, and we didn't play well. And it's a perfect example of what I say each and every week. You have to be ready to play in this league wherever you go, especially going on the road. And Clarion was ready to play, and they played well, and we went up there and didn't play well, and that's why we didn't get the outcome that we were looking for.
Yeah, in the game there, one of those things, the Vulcans had 15 turnovers, played without Reynolds there, your starting point guard, and one of those guys out. But a huge number, like that was 42 to 26 in the glass. It's one of those things, you guys really attacked it on the glass. This didn't result really in a lot of second chance points or getting the runs you guys needed there to really find a way to get over the hump.
Yeah, and when you look at the box score, it's tricky because you look at that and you're like, wow, we did a really good job, but we weren't able to, like you said, get the rewards from all of that. But we like that. That's who we want to be. So we do feel good about that. We just know we got to tighten up our defense on the three-point line better than it was that particular night, and that was really the difference in the game with them being able to make threes, and they defended the 3 very well against us.
Yeah, they shot 12 of 28, and Cal was down to 4 of 18, and one of those rough ones there for Jordan, 4 of 11, but he still finished with 21, and then Antoine really had a good game, 25 points offensively there. Those 2 guys getting 20 points, and then Dahlman getting 15 points and 6 boards.
Yeah, I thought particularly Dahlman had a really good game for us that game, and he's starting to get back with his wrist and feel more comfortable, and needed that. I thought the other 2, Jordan and Antoine, were good offensively. I thought both of them could have been better defensively. We talked a little bit about that. Hopefully, moving forward, I thought we got better effort defensively from those guys and the rest of the team on Saturday. But they score the ball. Antoine's very efficient when he does it, and Jordan has been really good with that as well. And Bryson had a tough game up at Clarion. So it was just not our night. Mentally, we made too many mistakes, and physically, we weren't able to really keep them in front and do as good a job as we had been doing on defense.
It ended up going a 6-man rotation, really basically all you ended up playing. But Clayton moving the starting lineup there that game, playing all 40 minutes for a true freshman. Yeah, it's midway through the year, but the idea of it's just showing his growth, being able to play 40 minutes straight and be able to handle the load there without Reynolds to give him some time off. At least it's something there to look at that one and seeing how he's developed from November and even the start of camp in September to now.
Yeah, Jordan Clayton is a very good player, and it's coming. Like, we can see it in practice, we can see it in the games, and he's very key. And I think moving here forward is going to be an important piece for our team. Coming off the bench and being able to score points and set his teammates up, and then his defense, especially on the ball, has really improved here in the last month, and we like that. He's long and can defend, and he battles, so we know what he's capable of doing, and he's going to continue to play well for us.
And it's not a good teams, a good programs. You have a setback on Wednesday. You know you have a game coming up on Saturday. You had Edinburgh, a team that's feisty. And one of those things there, you got some guys who hit the ball from the outside. They had 11 threes in the game, but it's a way you guys found a way to keep going back and forth, down at halftime, but come back and get the win, 82-77.
Yeah, and it was a struggle for us. We did not play particularly well, and we had to gut that out, so to speak. And I tell our guys all the time, there's going to be games where it's just not your night, where the ball doesn't go in as easy as you want it to, but there's still an opportunity to win that game by clamping down, on defense. The last 10 and a half minutes of that game, we really battled defensively and played very, very well on that end. So I was very happy. I think that's why we were able to win that game. And then offensively, we were able to do enough where we were fighting and scratching, and we just couldn't get over the hump. And it was similar to Clarion. We were very close in that game, and we just could never take the lead. And once we got the lead in the second half, we didn't relent. We just kept it, and we finished the game. And it was a hard-fought win, and Edinburgh was ready to play again. They shoot it, and they're hard to guard. So we had to earn that win for sure. So we were happy to get that one.
One of those things that one of the few times I think I've ever seen in your tenure here. 0 for 8 from the three-point line in the first half, but you still find a way to battle back, and Dahlman making a huge offensive rebound and the missed free throw late in the game to really set that game up for you guys. And just the idea of Dahlman just being aggressive, finishing with 12 and 8 in that game.
Yeah, big play by Dahlman. And those plays, that's winning basketball, and Dahlman makes those plays. He was able to tip it and then be able to secure it, and that was really the difference in the game down the stretch. It was a really, really big play for him, and he just had some nice finishes down the stretch too. A couple of them we thought possibly could have been and ones where he got some screen and rolls and took the ball strong and was still able to finish. So it's good to see him with those back-to-back games playing, and not only scoring, but the rebounding and blocking shots and changing shots is very key with him on the defensive end.
And Bryson got back a little bit more into himself in that game, finishing with 23 and 14, a nice double-double. And Antoine getting 21, 4, and 5 assists too. It's just the idea of showing his full complement of the game, not just being one-dimensional to scoring or rebounding, but doing a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and with Bryson, that's expected. We need him to be able to do that. We've talked about that, and he got into a good groove and was very efficient. And then obviously the 14 rebounds is big. And then we mentioned with Antoine, we know Antoine's a great scorer, but also with the 5 assists, making the right plays, and not just the right plays, but getting his teammates easy opportunities. That's really, really important. He draws a lot of attention. So, I was glad to see him distribute the ball with 5 assists. That's big. And then, his rebounding as well is very important.
And Brady comes back in the starting lineup there after coming back from missing Wednesday's game. Hits 5 free throws, hits 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and gives you 37 minutes. So it's a guy there. You missed a couple days game in practice, but you're right back into the mode of game time and game shape.
Yeah, and we could tell a little bit too when you're sick. You could tell he was not himself completely. And he battled for us, which was good. But defensively, he did a great job, on their point guard. I think he was 4 for 14 or 3 for 14. So his defense was very good and important for us. So Braden just, makes winning plays. So he's very important with us, and having him back is very important. So we're glad that he's feeling much better now.
So that takes a look back at last week here. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back to look at this week's Saturday's opponent, Slippery Rocket, and take a gander at the PSAC West standings at this point.
Don't miss the 2026 Frosty Frolic, benefiting the California Area School District Foundation. This year's event will be on Saturday, February 7th at the Cole Center Wharf at 100 Spring Street. Registration starts at 12:30 with the costume showcase at 1:10. Then it's time to shiver in the river as the jumps start at 1:30 p.m. For registration price and information, go online to calsdfoundation.org, Facebook at Frosty Frolic, or email monriverromp@gmail.com. Take part in this annual tradition to support our current and future students.
Hi, I'm Gene Sterator, CBS Rules Analyst and longtime sports official. Today, mistreatment of officials has become normalized, and we are facing an abnormal future where no officials to hire means no games on the schedule. And the positive effects of athletic competition are at critical risk for this generation and those to come. Videos showing abusive treatment of officials multiply on social media, and there have been consequences for the dreadful behavior of players, fans, and coaches. Your response in the heat of the moment is the only thing you totally control. Move that desire to lash out to a different place and encourage without rage. Just cheer for your child or the team you're there to support.
Hello, welcome back to this edition of the Danny Sancomb Show. Coach, been a little bit of a different kind of week here for you guys. We've gotten the routine of having 2 conference games a week, but again, Mercyhurst jumping to Division I a couple years ago. League's still trying to figure out how to balance schedules. East plays games a little bit differently than the West. You guys get that nice Wednesday off. Let's just talk about a little bit how it changed your preparation this week, the idea of going from Saturday to Saturday with no games, and also the idea of being some rest, especially when getting over the hump with a little bit of sickness for some of these guys.
Yeah, I mentioned to you, with the sicknesses, so it really comes at a good time for us. Just trying to do a little bit of a hybrid this week as far as, Monday we had a good, normal practice. Tuesday and today we did a ton of skill work, very light as far as the physicality of it, and then treating tomorrow like we would get back into it, for Thursday and Friday for preparation for Slippery Rock. Did a little preparation for them on Monday, obviously, but it's been good. Like, our guys look fresh today after we finished what we did. I think their bodies are a little bit worn down, especially the 6 guys in the last 2 games that have had to play 37, 38 plus minutes. I think that was good for them. So, got to get back at it tomorrow morning, though, with practice and good prep day tomorrow, good prep day Friday, and be ready to play well on the road up at Slippery Rock.
Now let's take a look at the PSAC West standings at this point. We're 10 games in, basically, for the most part, for the Vulcans. Some other teams around 9. All depends on when they get these bye games coming in. But right now, still Gannon and Cal tied at 9-1 overall in the conference. Gannon has one of those random non-conference ones. They filled their open date with Damon, which is going to be a great game for Division II basketball. 2 top 25 teams. I think Damon's one of the 2 or 3 left teams undefeated in the country. You saw them earlier this year. You know what kind of team they have, and that's going to be a great contest up there at Erie tonight.
Yeah, 2 different styles of play for sure. Gannon is very, helter-skelter, press, trap, creating a lot of possessions, and Damon is very, very efficient offensively, and they'll run when they have opportunity, but they also, with their big guy, have the opportunity to slow things down and pace. So I think tempo, who's able to control that, will have a lot to decide on whoever wins that game or not, and it's at Gannon, I do believe. So I plan on watching some of that game today for sure.
And then again, comes back and plays UPJ, another team that's more traditional in terms of its offense there on Saturday. Cal obviously off tonight, and then playing home, going to Slippery Rock, on Saturday. IUP's at 7-2. They have Edinboro and Clarion this week, and then Seton Hill right there is 7-3. They're off tonight, and then they play at Edinboro on Saturday. But just the idea of the standings, there's really the idea of, we talked about it before, just how balanced it is. The longest winning streak in the PSAC West is 3. And the longest in the one in the East is 4. So it just tells you right now that everybody's right on top of each other. There's a lot still left to play in for basketball, but just the idea of having to play your best in every game you go forward. And you have a game like Clarion can slip up, but bouncing back with a victory when you need to.
Yeah, and Clarion's good, like we knew that going into the game. Our side is, sometimes you're hoping that you can get a team that's down on your side, and that's not the case this year. Like, it's going to be a war each night, and we're going to have to be ready to play. So, the balance and the competitiveness of our league is very, very close. The margin is very, very close. So, each team is going to have to play well to earn victories.
And then on Saturday's opponents going to at Slippery Rock, a tough place to play. A program there, it's had some tough matchups with the Vulcans, especially on the road. What have you seen so far a little bit here on Slippery Rock since you've had a little bit more extra time to really look at them? Assumes kind of offense and defense, I'm sure they run every year, but they always have a new influx of people year in and year out, it seems like, in that program. Yeah,
Slippery Rock, they score points. They got guys that can make shots off the dribble, guys that can play one-on-one. They're a team that's hard to guard, and then defensively, they guard. They have good athletes that move their feet and stay between the ball and the rim and do a good job with it. They're a little bit tough because they've been similar to us here of late. They've had some guys that have missed games, so trying to figure out who's going to play. The prep work is we're expecting them all to be back, having a week off, and we feel we're going to get the best version of their team. They got a very talented team, so we'll need to be ready to play.
Yeah, the leading scorer this year is a freshman. He's from Monterey Christian, but he's played his last season. Then he went to California, the state of California, and played. Came back. He's averaging 16 and a half, and he's wears number 10. He had 39 points against Lockhaven, so he's a kid there. When he gets on, he's going to be able to score some points.
Yeah, good player. Can play with the ball. Shoots it really well off the bounce, can attack and get in the lane, find guys. We're going to have to work and make him work for everything that he gets. He's a scorer, so like I said, but he really can shoot it off the dribble and obviously catch and shoot. He's one of those guys that when they talk about can score at 3 levels, he has the ability to do that.
And I looked at 2 of the stats. Is like they're second in the conference in 3-point percentage defense, which again, not surprising over the years. They've had some really long guys, and they've had some long wings that can play, so they can test shots out on the perimeter as well.
Yeah, they do a good job with that. They just move their feet. They always have good athletes, and they stay in pretty good position. They're a physical team on defense, so if you're not going to move the ball, it's tough to score on them.
So that takes a look at this week's opponent, Slippery Rock, on the road Saturday. Coach, best of luck there, and then we'll start back to the 2-game schedule basically for the rest of the season after this point. But nice break there a little bit there on Wednesday, get the guys healthy, get them rested. And thanks for watching this week on the Danny Sancomb Show.